Hello students, good morning. After break, we are continuing our pending lesson. Today, we will complete our chapter first. Before I will go ahead, I like to just inform you that your worksheet has been prepared, which you will receive after this lesson as a PDF file. You complete this worksheet in your notebook. Till previous video, we had complete and learnt how Britishers had expanded the company rule in India, and today we will talk about the economic and social impact of the company rule in India. So let's start. When we evaluate the 100 year of company rule in India, here evaluate means judge or study the fact, then form an opinion about something. So if we evaluate the company rule in India, there are both positive and negative impact available. Here we talk about negative impact first, then we go to positive impact. We realized that India, which had an enviable position in the world in the previous century, here enviable means to complete controlling position, मीन्स इंडिया का पूरे वर्ल्ड के बाज़ारों पर कंट्रोल था। वो ऐसे कि हमारा देश पूरे विश्व को अपने यहाँ बने हुए उत्पाद या प्रोडक्शन भेजता था। वह विश्व के कई सारे देश अपनी ज़रूरतों को पूरा करने के लिए हमारे देश के ऊपर निर्भर रहते थे। Become merely a country that produced only raw material for England and a prospective market for goods produced in factory. So, whatever raw material we produced in India sent to England as a raw material, and England produced them as a finished goods or sellable items, and India became a prospective market for these goods. यानी ब्रिटिश एम्पायर के 100 साल के बाद हमारा देश सिर्फ इंग्लैंड के लिए कच्चे माल का एक उत्पाद करने वाला देश बन गया था। वह यहाँ उत्पादित होने वाला सारा कच्चा माल ब्रिटिशर्स इंग्लैंड लेके जाते, वह वहाँ पे इन्हीं से बने हुए मशीन उत्पाद भारत में बेचे जाते थे, और भारत ही इनका एकमात्र और सबसे बड़ा बाजार था उस समय। So, India faced both sides loss. One side, Britishers imported Indian raw product at very low rate, and Britishers produced them, and then these finished goods or sellable items sold in Indian market at very high price. Okay, next, Bengal exported cotton cloth, raw silk, sugar, jute, muslin 1708 to 1756. But after the dual power policy, please underline the word dual power policy, the glitter of the economic prosperity of Bengal faded. Here, export means sell to other countries, and glitter means shine. So, at the time between 1708 to 1756, Bengal export their raw product as cotton cloth, sugar, jute, etc. But after the dual power policy of Britishers, the very high economic position of Bengal was destroyed or faded. Now a question arises that what is dual power policy? So the dual power policy or Dvimukhi Shashan was introduced for the first time in Bengal, where by the power of collecting revenue was with the British, while the responsibility of the people's welfare was with the Nawab. Means all the taxes were collected by the Britishers, without taking any kind of responsibility, and all the income collected by the Britishers, but the responsibility of the people's welfare, as they built roads, hospitals, or many facilities, etc., was fulfilled by the Nawabs. So here the responsibility of people welfare was the job of Nawab. The British got the power without any responsibility, and the Nawab had the responsibility without any power. So this was known as the subsidiary alliance system, which ruined Bengal economically. Here one thing is most important, that the word come here: dual power policy, Dvimukhi Shashan, and subsidiary alliance system. All three are same, so be not confused. And by this system, the economic prosperity of Bengal was totally ruined or destroyed. The unfair revenue collections policy by the company made the Indian peasants a debtor. Here unfair means unjust and debtor means borrower. So by this unjust taxes collection policy, the Indian peasant became borrower. The British government imposed unfair taxes on the Indian cloth industries, because at the time the Indian product was very fine and the famous in whole world. So Britishers imposed many unfair taxes on Indian cloth industry to ruin them. They adopted various deceitful practices to ruin the prosperous Indian industries, because of which it completely collapsed. Here collapsed means fell down. So due to many unjust taxes or revenues, many Indian industries fell down or ruined. The Indian artisans became poor and unemployment. Here artisan means skilled worker or persons who making various things by their hands. So by these unfair high taxes, the Indian artisans also became poor and unemployment. The company traders forced the weavers of Bengal to sign contract for providing definite quantity of cloth in a short period. If the weaver refused, he would be punished by being lashed or jailed. So here lashed means hunter, और कोड़े मारना यानी कि चमड़े की बेल्ट या रस्सी से पिटाई करना. And weaver means a person who makes fabric by fibers. So when the demands of British goods increased in market, then they forced to sign the contract to Indian weavers for the quantity of clothes prepared in a short time, and if the weavers refused them to make or do it, they will punish them by various times. Before the arrival of the company, the Indian villages were self-reliant and prosperous, but under the company rule, they became dependent and poor. Self-reliant means self-dependent, and prosperous means very high living standard. So before the arrival of company, which village were self-dependent and follow the very high living standard, also become poor and dependent for their livelihood. During the rule of the East India Company, the first railway line between Mumbai and Thane, and steamer service between India and England was started, and development of the ports in Mumbai, Madras and Kolkata also took place. These all are the positive impact of British rule in India. And now we learnt the social impact of the company rule in India. So, social impact of the company rule. During the British administrations, the spirit of freedom of speech and thought developed among people due to the development of newspapers. Because of the newspaper available at that time, so people also expressed their thoughts by these newspapers. In the Indian society, certain wrong social customs, rites, rituals were prevalent during that time, like sati system, female infanticide, child marriage, etc. At that time, under the name of religion, some social evils or wrong customs were going on, which all, like sati systems, female infanticides, and child marriage, were banned. Raja Ram Mohan Rai, Durga Ram Mehta, Balram Ji Malbari were the stalwart whose role was instrumental in getting the law passed with the help of Britishers. Here, stalwarts means very hard working persons and instrumental means very important. So, these three people play a very important role against social evils with the help of Britishers. At the administration framework in India was Englishized. There was a demand for people with knowledge of English. Administration means to manage, and Anglicized means do in English. So every management work done in English. So demands arise for those peoples who having knowledge of English. So Indian education began to be imparted in India due to Lord Macaulay endeavors recommended by Charles Wood. Universities were established in Mumbai, Madras, and Kolkata. So, for this purpose, Lord Macaulay start English education in India and implement this education system. And firstly, Mumbai, Madras, and Kolkata in India established English universities. A whole class of people with knowledge of English develops. A whole class of people with knowledge of English developed because of English education. With the passage of time, this group made demand for social reforms and gave momentum to the process of reforms. So when people started to getting knowledge in English, then their thinking were also changed and the demands for social reforms and take many steps for exploitation of many social levels and wrong practice. Now we take conclusion. So thus the East India Company came to India being allured by the prosperity and trade opportunity. Here, allured means attract. So, as we learned in this chapter that the East India Company attracted with our nation and come to India with only trade opportunity. The company rule in India produced certain goods and bad result in the political, economic, social and cultural field. Although the company came to India only for trade purpose, but they ruled on us and by ruling they gave us both good and bad result. The company adopted the policy of making England prosperous at the cost of India, and the reforms they made in the administration for their own interest indirectly proved to be beneficial for India. So the policy of company was only made England as prosperous at the cost of India. So India became more poor and they become more rich. This is the real policy of company and the East India Company, and all the reforms they made here as start railway service, developed many ports or as schools for their own purpose, but after independence they proved for the beneficial for us. So now our lesson 1 is over, and all the important questions you write in your notebook, your worksheet will be declared soonly.